Picture this. You have finally listed your house. The sign is in the yard, your first showing is scheduled, and you're excited because maybe, just maybe, this is going to be the buyer who's going to fall in love with your home. Then your phone rings. Your agent says, "Hey, they canceled the showing." Well, what happened? They drove by first and decided they didn't even want to go inside. Believe it or not, that happens more often than you'd think. Sometimes buyers never make it out of the car. Other times they spend 5 minutes inside before I can already tell that they're moving on to the next house. And what's interesting is it usually isn't one giant deal breaker that sends them packing. It is a series of little things that slowly chip away at their excitement until they decide, let's keep looking. So today I want to take you through a showing exactly the way buyers experience it. We'll start from the moment they find your home online and follow them all the way until they leave the driveway. Some of these things you can't change. Some of them you absolutely can. And a surprising number of them don't require spending thousands of dollars. So let's get into it. One of the biggest misconceptions that sellers have is thinking that their first showing happens when someone pulls into the drive. It doesn't. Your first showing happens online before buyers ever schedule an appointment. They're scrolling through the MLS, Zillow, or Redfin, and they're comparing your home against dozens of others. In a matter of seconds, they're deciding whether your house is even worth seeing in person. That's why professional photography matters so much. Dark photos, poor lighting, cluttered rooms, or pictures taken with a cell phone can make a perfectly nice home feel smaller, darker, and less inviting than it really is. I always tell my sellers that great marketing won't sell a bad house, but bad marketing can absolutely keep a great house from selling. Here's a simple exercise. Pull up your listing alongside 5 similar homes in your price range. Forget it's your house for a minute. Which one would you click on? Because that's exactly what buyers are doing every single day. If your listing doesn't stand out online, they may never give it a chance to impress them in person. Let's assume your photos did their job. The buyers schedule a showing, get in the car, and start driving over. Before they even notice your front door, they're taking in everything around it. Is the house on a busy road? Can they hear highway traffic? Are there power lines in the backyard? Does the house next door look neglected? Buyers aren't just buying your home. They're buying the experience of living there. Now, some of these things simply aren't within your control. You can't move your house to a quieter street or convince your neighbor to repaint their home this weekend. But you can minimize some of the distractions. Fresh landscaping can soften an unattractive view. Timing showings around rush hour or school traffic can make the neighborhood feel quieter. And even simple things like making sure trash cans are put away can improve a buyer's first impression. By the time they step out of the car, they're already asking themselves one question: can I picture myself living here? If the answer is yes, you've earned the opportunity to impress them with the house itself. When people hear the phrase curb appeal, they're often picturing expensive landscaping projects. In reality, buyers are asking a much simpler question. Does this house look like it's been cared for? Peeling paint, overgrown shrubs, weeds in the walkway, faded shutters, or tree branches scraping the roof may seem like small issues individually, but together they send a message that maintenance has been slipping. Try this. Walk across the street and take a picture of your house. Living somewhere for years makes it easy to overlook the little things, but a photo forces you to see your home the way buyers will. A few inexpensive planters, fresh mulch, or some simple landscaping can make an outdoor space feel warm and inviting instead of unfinished. At this stage, buyers still want to love your house. Your job is simply to avoid giving them reasons not to. Real quick, I'm curious. What's the fastest a house has ever lost you? Was there one thing that made you immediately say, nope, this isn't the one? Let me know in the comments. I would love to see if everyone notices the same things. Now they've made it through the front door, and this is where the showing really begins. What's interesting is buyers usually aren't walking through the house thinking about bedrooms, bathrooms, and square footage in the same order we do as real estate agents. Instead, they're constantly asking themselves one question: can I actually see myself living here? Every room either reinforces that feeling or slowly chips away at it. Sometimes buyers can't even explain why a house doesn't feel right, but by the end of the showing, they're already deciding to move on. Once buyers walk through the front door, they immediately start picturing how they would live in the home. Every buyer has a different wish list. Some want an open concept, others need a first floor bedroom or office. The challenge is that buyers aren't always good at visualizing changes. I've shown homes where buyers thought the rooms felt small even though they had plenty of square footage. The problem wasn't the size, it was the layout. Older homes with smaller separated rooms or split levels can feel less functional to today's buyers, even if they're perfectly livable. If your home has a unique layout, simple furniture placement, staging, or even a virtual rendering can help buyers see the possibilities instead of focusing on the limitations. The kitchen is still the room that buyers judge the most, but that doesn't mean you need a full remodel before selling. Most buyers understand they aren't buying a brand new custom home. They're looking for a kitchen that feels clean, bright, functional, and well maintained. If a renovation isn't in the budget, focus on small things that make a big visual impact. Clear the countertops, put away small appliances, replace burned out bulbs, touch up paint, and make sure everything is spotless. The goal isn't convincing buyers the kitchen is brand new. It's helping them picture themselves using it on a daily basis. One of the quickest ways buyers lose confidence is when they start adding up future repair costs. An older roof, aging furnaces, worn flooring, or outdated windows aren't always deal breakers. Buyers often see dollar signs instead of possibilities. Today's buyers are already stretching their budgets with higher interest rates, insurance, taxes, and everyday expenses. So major repairs feel even more intimidating. That doesn't mean you have to replace everything before selling, but it does mean your pricing needs to match the condition of the home. Buyers are much more willing to take on projects when they feel like they're paying a fair price. One pattern I've noticed over the years is sellers focusing on one expensive improvement while overlooking 10 smaller ones. They'll remodel a bathroom but ignore peeling paint at the front door. They'll install beautiful new countertops, but leave every closet overflowing with clutter. Or replace the flooring while forgetting to update the lighting. Buyers don't judge your home one project at a time. They experience it as a whole. When enough little issues start adding up, they begin wondering what else has been neglected. On the flip side, a home that feels clean, organized, and obviously cared for makes buyers much more forgiving of the things that aren't perfect. Up to this point, we've talked about things buyers can see. Now let's talk about something that's harder to measure, but it's just as important: how the house feels. You've probably experienced it yourself. Two homes can have similar layouts and square footage, but one immediately feels welcoming while the other doesn't. That feeling usually isn't created by one big feature. It's dozens of smaller details working together. And fortunately, many of them are easy to improve before your home goes on the market. One of the easiest ways to make a home feel larger is simply removing things from it. Buyers aren't touring your home to see how you live. They're trying to imagine how they would live there. Overstuffed closets, crowded countertops, and too much furniture makes rooms feel smaller than they really are. I've had buyers open packed closets and immediately assume the house doesn't have enough storage. Renting a small storage unit for a month or two may not be exciting, but it can completely change how buyers experience your home. Every home has a smell. The difference is you probably don't notice yours anymore, but buyers do. I've literally made like half a dozen videos about smell. Whether it's pets, cooking, smoke, or heavily scented candles, smell creates an immediate first impression. Before showings, open the windows if you can. Empty the trash, clean the litter box, and keep things as neutral as possible. One mistake I see all the time is trying to cover odors with overpowering fragrances. That usually makes buyers wonder what's being hidden. Clean and neutral almost always wins. If there's one inexpensive change that can make almost any home feel more inviting, it's lighting. Didn't mean to rhyme that. Open every blind and curtain. Turn on every light before a showing. Replace burned out bulbs and make sure that the color temperature is consistent throughout the home. Natural light is one of the biggest emotional triggers for buyers. So if your home looks best during a certain time of day, try to keep showings scheduled around it whenever possible. This one can be a little sensitive, but it's important. Buyers want to picture their own lives in your home, and the more personalized the space feels, the harder that becomes. Bold paint colors, heavily themed rooms, or prominent religious or political decor can unintentionally distract buyers from the home itself and stir up emotions that may impact how they feel about the home. This isn't about hiding who you are. It's about creating a space that appeals to the widest possible group of buyers during the few weeks your home is on the market. Finally, if you are selling your home, I beg you, leave during the showing. Buyers behave completely differently when a seller is there. They hesitate to open doors, they whisper instead of talking openly, and often wait until they're back in the car before sharing what they really think. Give them the freedom to explore the home comfortably. Let your agent answer their questions, and allow them to picture the house as their future home instead of someone else's current one. Trust me when I say this, if a seller is at home during a showing, most buyers feel uncomfortable. And that's the last thing you want when trying to convince someone to buy your home. When you step back and look at everything we've talked about today, one thing becomes pretty clear. Buyers aren't looking for a perfect house. They're looking for a home that feels well cared for. You can't change your location, your neighbors, or the road you're on, but you can control how your home presents itself. The clutter, the lighting, the maintenance, the smell, and the overall presentation all influence how a buyer feels during the showing. And those first few minutes are critical. Before your home hits the market, ask your agent one simple question. If you were showing this house tomorrow, what objections do you think buyers are going to have? A good agent should be able to identify those concerns before the first buyer ever walks through the front door. If you fix what you can, price it appropriately for what you can't, then you will give yourself the best chance of attracting strong offers instead of watching buyers walk away. If you found this video helpful, hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I try to post helpful content every week for buyers, sellers, and homeowners. Thanks for watching. I'm George Poporad, and I'll see you in the next one.